Hello and welcome to For the Glory, a What on Earth production series showcasing some of Australia's finest elite athletes to share their stories, inspire our nation and embrace the power of sport. My name is Rachel Condos-Fields and I'm super excited to introduce you to some more inspirational athletes today so you can hear their stories of empowerment, celebration and success. I'm really delighted to be again joined by our co-host and Australian superstar track and field athlete, Nana Owusu. Welcome back, Nana.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to hear some more stories from some inspirational athletes.
The stories just keep getting better and better because we are very fortunate and super excited to be joined today by Australian beach volleyball Olympic athlete and silver medalist, Taliqua Clancy. Welcome to the studio virtually, Taliqua.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It is our absolute pleasure. I must admit, I'm a bit of a fangirl, love watching the beach volleyball and was a little bit happy when we got the COVID lockdown in Brisbane back when you were playing at Tokyo because it gave me the opportunity to sit guiltlessly in front of the TV and binge your sport.
Oh, that's good. It was actually, it was obviously because of COVID, it was actually really difficult knowing if we're actually, connecting back home. But yeah, I think that little lockdown was really just special, and it was awesome that the Olympics and the power of sport of just making everyone, still come together in a really challenging time.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit about your beach volleyball journey? How did you get into it? What made you the athlete you are today?
To be honest, I still have to pinch myself that to explain my story. But deep down, I always knew as a Kinroy, country kid in Queensland, I always knew that I was going to be a professional athlete. If you ever told me that it was going to be in beach volleyball at the time, growing up in Kinroy, I didn't even know what the sport was until I was 13. I didn't really know what volleyball or beach volleyball was, but I was very fortunate enough that my mum had me quite young. She had me when she was 17. So my mum's baby sister is only 6 years older than me. And she was going into high school. Well, I was about to go into high school actually, and she told me that you should do indoor volleyball. And I was like, okay, as you do, as you just, want to be like your big sister or aunties. And from then on, I was very fortunate enough to be talent identified through those years. And I moved to Brisbane to be a part of the Queensland Academy of Sport when I was 15. And then I was, again, fortunate enough to be chosen for the national team, and I relocated to Adelaide when I was 16 years old. And from then on, I've just, been traveling the world, going to country, but I always have to say it definitely was not love at first sight. I hated beach volleyball so much. I hated the sand, couldn't stand it. It was a hot, steamy, humid day in Brisbane and I just could not stand it. But it quickly fell to love. The new challenges of beach volleyball and being outside and the conditions really just made me fall in love with the sport pretty quick.
And this is an ignorant question, but are the stadiums and the viewing all different around the world? You mentioned you've been country to country, and I've seen some pretty impressive grandstand seating in some Europe tournaments. What are your experiences?
Yeah, it is so funny because everyone just assumes that we play on a beach, and that's just not the case. We go rarely ever on a beach, and which is a really special part of beach volleyball is that you can literally, from this footage, this is a tennis court in Hamburg. This is where they had world champs in 2019, and we play in Switzerland and in Stade up in the Swiss Alps. They just put it right in the middle of town. It's one of the most iconic events on our calendar. You have the snowy mountains in the background, and it's just, we rarely ever play on a beach.
You are a two-time Olympian. What is next?
I'm hoping for myself to go to 3 more. That's my goal. I would love to finish
girlfriend. We'll be there cheering.
Yeah. I would love to finish my Olympic journey in 2032. And I career phase the same as well. Just a home Olympics would just be so special. It's a dream. It's just, if you ever get that opportunity, it's just such a gift. So I'm hoping to go to 2032. I know physically I'm still there. Hopefully it all just keeps lining up. But that's my 100% goal. And, to obviously chuck a gold medal in there as well is definitely my first goal leading into Paris in 2024.
No, how exciting. An incredible time with the runway to 2032 being here in Brisbane as well. And we've got you back and we're right here with you. But the thing that I am really, really intrigued with, I love trying to crack the code with your hand signals, watching it going, okay, what does this mean? So I have to ask, can you give us a little sneaky inside tip as to one of your hand signals, what it means and how important they are in the game?
Each team usually gets a bit unique, definitely, a few more special ones, but the real beginning is when we turn around, your hand on the top is usually where you're serving when you're starting. And so there's 6 positions on the court, and so obviously this is 1, so it'll be to the right side player, and the bottom one is whatever you're blocking. So a 2 usually just means angle block, and a 1 just means line. But yeah, once you start hitting a special level, everyone just does some funky stuff.
I think people don't realise the strategy in sport as well. Like I find that mentally exhausting, just trying to think about all of the manoeuvres and remembering the code. So it's not just a physical game, it's a mental game too, I'm sure. I have to also ask, spike or dig, and what's the key difference between the 2 manoeuvres for those watching at home and new to beach volleyball?
Spike or dig? Okay, so dig is when we're passing. So when our 2 hands are together. So this one is definitely, this one's the dig. Setting, can't forget the setting, which is most important. It leads you to the funnest skill, which is spiking. Spiking is by far the best skill. We all know it. That's why you fall in love with volleyball. But yeah, spiking is when you give a good old whack of the ball.
Well, Nana's got a bit of a height advantage on me, but I reckon we get Taliqua to teach me how to set, you spike, and we can have a game.
We can be the dream team. We see you using your platforms to promote health and well-being. How important do you think it is for an athlete of your calibre to be using their platform for good?
Oh, it's a huge responsibility, and I don't take it lightly, especially being a First Nations female. I'm a proud woolly woman, so it's really important, and it's also too like how I think, you know, I love the fact that we can actually share our journey with everybody else, and I do think it's a responsibility that definitely shouldn't be taken lightly. For sure, I love that I can give back to the community. That's literally what keeps me motivated as well on my journey, and yeah, it's so important.
You talked about being a proud Indigenous woman, which is great to hear, and I know that you're also heavily involved with Deadly Choices, and you know, I don't know how you find time for all of this, but keen to understand how you manage to balance all of your community commitments, training, and your personal life.
It's definitely actually been such a new challenge. Obviously, Rio was my first Olympics, and we just fell short of the finals rounds in the quarterfinal, but now coming on the back end of earning our silver medal, yeah, it has been a little bit more challenging. I can't lie about that, but it's, you know, going back in community and doing my work with Deadly Choices actually just gives that really good reboost, and I don't know how to describe it, but there's something when I go back and connect with community, even though I know that I'm there and I'm helping and supporting, I get so much out of those moments as well. So it is actually really important that I can fit that into my calendar, because it really just remotivates me, and just I love giving back, and I love that time with community. It's so important, especially when I am traveling on the road a lot. I do find that now, getting later and longer in my career, it is so important to get back home and connect.
It's so refreshing to hear that. We all know that sport has this unique benefit and ability to connect and empower communities, and there's no barriers in sport, and that's what I love most about it. We are running out of time today, but I'm really, really keen, because I know that across Australia you are a role model for many, not just country girls, but aspiring Olympians, particularly with the runway to 2032 Games. Keen to understand who your role models are and your sporting hero.
It's so hard, because I've always felt like I never just had that one clear role model. Like, I really love watching. I love sport, so I watch anything that I can do. I just fall in love with sport, but I find it really great to look and see other athletes and what they're doing, and you know, the ones that have been best at their game, like Roger Federer. It's awesome just to see the elements, what they do, and seeing, you know, what parts I can use for myself. I think that's how I've always seen it. I've never really tried to be anybody else except myself, but I've always tried to learn from the exceptional and top athletes.
We all love Roger. Yeah. We can all learn a lot from Rog.
He's such an easy example of professionalism, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. We are running out of time, but I would like to hand over to Nana because she is the lady of games and has a bit of a game for you to end on.
So we'd like to end with you a game called Two Truths and a Lie. So could you give us in the studio and the audience 2 truths and a lie?
Okay, I'll do my best.
Nothing like putting you on the
I'm
spot.
a really bad liar, so I'll probably just reveal it straight away. On my face. Oh gosh, okay. Oh my god. My favorite food of all time is nachos. Where I have lived in Australia is Gladstone. I don't think many people know that about me. It's I think it'd be a hidden surprise. And then also, that's not a hidden surprise, I just told you.
That's okay.
That's why I'm like, you're not being terribly cryptic, but that's all right. Yeah, third one.
So cryptic. Well, that one's the truth.
Duh.
We know that now.
Do I just delete that? Do I start again?
No, you're
keep
right.
going.
Hit us with your third.
Well, what am I meant to do? Are you meant to find the truth?
Yeah.
Well, we can swap it. We can do 2 lies and a truth. Oh,
No, it's
we
all
know
right.
the truth. That's okay.
all right.
Yeah,
We are
you know the
gonna-
truth. I ruined it.
You know what? We're going to get you some time to think about it. Take a selfie video of us, and we'll put it out there on the channel so people can guess. We'll give you some time. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Please.
No, that's okay.
And Taliqua, when I see you back in Brisbane, I've got something for you as well. I was going to give it to you in person in the studio. Our friends at Audera Healthy Hearing have got these incredible noise-cancelling headphones that help you find your personalised sound, and I will catch up with you in Brisbane and hand those over. So a little bit of a thank you from Audera.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And yeah, it is pretty amazing. But Nana and I, just on behalf of the Wattle Nest, want to sincerely thank you for being part of our show today. We could talk to you for hours. We're so impressed and so inspired. And we wish you the very, very best of luck with your journey. And we'll be cheering you on in Paris and have every bit of confidence that you can bring home the gold. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. And thanks, Nana, again.
No, thank you. I can't wait to see you in Paris.
So that concludes this session of the Wattle Nest Athlete Empowerment for the Glory series. Be sure to tune in next time as we discuss and share more stories from the professional athlete world. Until next time, guys, thank you.